Another AEW star is leaving, taking a break from wrestling. A whole bunch of details there. Also, we talked about Harland, a.k.a. Parker Boudreaux, going to AEW. We saw him on AEW Dark. Well, now we know what some of the plans are, and it might involve ROH. Guys, we're also talking about Ric Flair and his last match because he put out a tweet today that was absolutely crazy. All the timestamps in the description down below. Really quick, I just want to provide an update on the Harland situation, because I told you guys I wasn't going to spoil the results of what happened at AEW Dark. However, a day later, Dave Meltzer has talked about this idea of a new group for Parker Boudreaux. And basically, this is a really interesting concept for the simple fact that ROH's pay-per-view is this upcoming Saturday. Meltzer speculated whether the Trust Busters could be working the ROH Death Before Dishonor pay-per-view, as a decision has yet to be made on whether this group will be used in AEW or ROH. So Tony Khan had an idea for a trio called the Trust Busters, and the idea is that Arya Daivari is now Ari Daivari, after Ari Emanuel, owner of UFC and of course super agent and everything, big time celebrity. The idea is that on July the 4th, I believe his trust came in, and now he is rich. And the first thing he did, I know if I was super rich and came into money, the first thing I would do is recruit Slim J. He brought in Slim J, who's a good wrestler. He's been around for a long time, never really gotten a shot anywhere. He was brought in, and then he was a third member of the group that was brought in. Is Parker Boudreaux, who was Harland in WWE and was recently fired. They debuted at these tapings, and Tony Khan is very excited about that. No decision has been made on whether or not it would be for Ring of Honor or AEW. There is so many acts in AEW. Ring of Honor, not as many acts. Wow. I did not anticipate this for Parker Boudreaux. I really did not, I did not think Tony Khan would be high on this idea. Now, how does this group work together? How are they going to mesh? What is the presentation? It's going to be really interesting to see. But for those who are interested about Harland and AEW or ROH, it looks like it's probably going to be something used for ROH. And this might be a good week to watch Death Before Dishonor. All right, guys, I want to turn our attention to Ric Flair. This is a very, very interesting story. So Ric Flair is reportedly hurt with a foot injury. At least this is according to Dave Meltzer. However, what's even more interesting here, guys, and I want to show you guys my screen. I think it's really important that I do. We're going to show you my screen because Ric Flair has announced today on Twitter, on July 31st, I'm coming after one of your own, hashtag WWE Raw. And tonight at 6:05, the entire world will find out Ric Flair's last match. Now, this tweet already has almost 3,000 likes. It's been out for a couple hours at this point. People are definitely engaging with it and talking about it. If Ric Flair is truly, in fact, injured and it's not that serious, okay, no big deal. It's been said before that WWE and Ric Flair are back on good terms. Who the hell from WWE currently would come back and wrestle Ric Flair? That is super intriguing to me because I literally have no idea who it could be. There's no rumors. We know it was supposed to be a 6-man tag before. Those rumors went away. And the idea that Ric Flair could be wrestling somebody from WWE Raw and WWE will help out with this event truly opens the forbidden door, by the way, because AEW, MLW, Impact, and so many different companies have their talent working this card. If a WWE superstar is working this Ric Flair last match, that would be absolutely mind-boggling. So we'll find out at 6:05 who it is, if it's overhyped, underhyped. Maybe this is Ric Flair just playing the social media trick. Don't know what it is, but we'll see. As far as the injury goes, his foot is hurt, and he's expected to wrestle. So it is what it is. I still am not excited about this event, but now that he mentioned it's a Raw superstar, I don't know. It's somebody from WWE. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I didn't expect it, and I'm definitely intrigued by it. So let me know what you guys think about that story. Now we are going to talk about this interesting story that we have right here. Guys, we're going to go back to showing the screen. We are talking about AQA. For the past, we'll go to this one. AQA on Instagram put out, I want to take this time to say thank you to anyone who has ever cheered for me, supported me, bought merch, had me on your podcast, or wrote an article about me. Those who sent loving messages, made fan art, gave me a hug during a meet and greet or a high five on my way home, on my way to and from the ring, promoters who booked me, opponents that stood across from me, and my trainers for teaching me everything I know. I wouldn't have made it this far without all of you. At this time, I have decided to step away from professional wrestling for the immediate future. For the past few years, both mentally and physically, I have not been in a great place with wrestling, and silly me, I kept pushing through because I didn't want to be seen as weak, but it only sucked the fun out of every opportunity I had. I hope during this time I'll be able to reflect deeply and see what path is best for me. Thank you, AEW, for granting me this time. Until I see you all again, much love. AQA, tons of potential, barely worked for AEW. And I know people on social media are going to have a field day with this. AEW killed her passion. AEW did this. WWE killed her passion. Blah, 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 blah. Look, I am not having any of that. AQA is a wonderful performer. Could have been a really big deal. It was a really surprising situation to me when I saw that they signed her, only to have her lose, only to not use her. Clearly, at this point, something is not right. As she explicitly says, for the past few years, both mentally and physically, I have not been in a great place with wrestling. It all makes sense. And you know what? If you need to take a step away, if you need to leave AEW and leave pro wrestling and get out of your contract or whatever it may be, and that's what it's going to take for you to be healthier and happier and more, interested in figuring it out. Like, whatever it takes to help, that's what matters. There is nothing wrong with this. I know a lot of people on social media and a lot of people on the comment section, they're going to try to paint a picture, whether it is to make WWE look bad or to make AEW look bad. And really what's important here is that AQA just literally gets better and feels better because there is more to life than this wrestling shit. And it's as simple as that. I'm a huge fan of AQA. Mainly because she is incredibly talented. I paid attention to what she was doing at Reality of Wrestling, Booker T's promotion. I paid attention to that. And I remember watching videos of her in NXT, but she wasn't really on NXT as often. So then when she got let go, she goes to AEW. We saw the Jade Cargill match. We've seen her a couple times on Dark or whatever. My point is, she is incredibly talented. If she eventually wants to come back into wrestling, she'll come back and absolutely kill it. That's not a concern. If she wants to step away from wrestling, there's no problem with that either. At the end of the day, I think this is a good thing. Thank you, AEW, for granting me this time. Obviously, Tony Khan, once again, helping out his talent regardless of the situation. And I'll keep you guys updated.